Thank you, Ron, for the cinder block. Okay, you did not tell me I was going to have to follow Ava. So I'm a little bit emotional. Ava, you are a hard act to follow. That was beautiful. Thank you. Good evening, Villa Park High School graduates, class of 2025. I'm so happy for you. What an absolute honor it is to be here today, to be with you, not just as a guest, but as a fellow Spartan. Also as the proud aunt of your fellow classmate, Karey. Also, a thank you to her mom and my sister, Erin Ty, who you already heard planned so much of this beautiful afternoon. Thank you, Erin. So yes, I graduated Villa Park High in 1984 with my now brother-in-law, Bill Hodson. Back then, we lived pretty much like the kids in Stranger Things, if you can picture that, minus the Demogorgons, I think. That's kind of what life was like. In fact, the last time I was actually in this amphitheater, Bill was winning the lip sync / air guitar concert by doing a backflip off that wall right there. So back then, I had a plan, a very grown-up, very mature plan. I was going to go to UCLA, I was going to study international business, speak fluent French, graduate, move to Paris, live a life working in finance, and eat croissants for breakfast every morning. That was my plan. So here's what actually happened. I took one 8 a.m. economics class, hated it, couldn't stay awake, and now the only time I speak French is when I'm ordering a croissant. Today, I'm the president of Disney's television studio, so not exactly Paris. But what happened in between is what I want to share with you today, because life, real life, is not a straight line. It's not even a squiggly line. It's more like a doodle you draw during a really boring class, like 8 a.m. economics. And one day, boom, that squiggly line turns into the map that becomes your life. I tried a ton of things before I found out what I liked and what fit and what I wanted to do. I sold watches at the Orange Mall, which doesn't even exist anymore, I don't think. I worked at Knott's Berry Farm selling jam and jelly with my dad. I made pizzas, I parked cars, I was a camp counselor. I even applied to law school, which I think my parents thought was the equivalent of running away to join the circus. And then, during my senior year of college, I stumbled into an internship at NBC. I had no idea jobs in television even existed. Like, who knew? But I did know I loved watching television. I remember thinking, I'm really good at this. Maybe somebody will pay me to watch television professionally. And that is actually eventually what happened. Also, truly, what kept me in television was not just the watching and the entertainment, but the stories and the impact they had. Early in my career, I had the privilege of working on a show called Will and Grace. It was a show with openly gay characters at a time when that was really groundbreaking. I remember my mom calling me one day from her office in Irvine, kind of whispering into the phone about how her coworkers were starting to change their thinking because they'd fallen in love with these characters. I saw it again while working on Friends. So Friends, if you watch it, you know, was designed specifically for young people. But I knew it was going to be a really big hit when my dad called me one day and said, you know, your show Friends is really funny. Do you think you could get me tickets to a taping? Remember this, Dad? So I did, true story. I got my dad tickets, but my dad, being my dad, somehow ended up in the show as an extra. So to this day, you can see my dad, Kat's grandpa, sipping a latte in Central Perk like a pro in the episode titled The One with the Chicken Pox. But that show meant even more to me later when my own daughter was going through a tough time. She was being bullied in junior high, and she felt incredibly alone. Over Christmas break, we happened to binge every episode of Friends, and when she had to go back to school, I was really worried about her. So I asked her about it, and she literally looked me in the eye and said, Mom, don't worry, I have Ross and Rachel and Chandler. I'll be fine. And I learned those character characters actually gave her comfort and made her feel less alone. Most recently, I produced a show for Netflix called Nobody Wants This. On the surface, it's a really cute rom-com, but underneath, it's a story about accepting people for exactly who they are. After all these years, even after working on countless shows, telling countless stories, if someone tells me that a show that I worked on made them laugh or cry or feel a little bit less alone, it means everything to me and it inspires me to keep going. So, speaking of things that inspire me, I want to give a special shout out to my amazing niece, Kat Ty. She knows can do this. Sorry, Kat. Kat, I've watched you grow into this fiercely smart, funny, generous, amazing human being. It's my job as your auntie to embarrass you a little bit. It's in the handbook, sorry. So I'm going to share with you today that one of Kat's favorite songs is Defying Gravity. And I wanted to bring it up because let's be honest, that is the perfect anthem for today. It's what I hope for all of you. My journey from where you're sitting now to standing here before you today has looked nothing like I thought it would when I graduated from Villa Park. It's been full of unexpected twists and turns, bumps and dead ends, and so much more discovery, joy, and wonder than I ever could have imagined. Your own journey, the doodles that will turn into the map of your life, are just beginning. So here is my advice to you. You don't have to know exactly what you want to do. Seriously, do not panic if you don't know. You just have to stay curious. Try things. Take risks. In other words, defy gravity. Say yes more than you say no. In fact, say yes as much and as often as you can. Going through life as a yes person and not a no person is scarier, but I promise you, it is much more fun and fulfilling. So when I graduated from this school, my grandma shared a quote with me. It's one of her favorites, and it's one of mine to this day, and I want to share it with you and hope that it helps you on your journey. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." Class of 2025, you got this. Go ahead, blaze your trail, make up your own story, and most importantly, have fun doing it. You have earned it. Congratulations. And if I can just add, as a parent of 5 kids who have been through this, thank you parents, teachers, aunts, uncles, siblings, grandparents. None of this happens in a vacuum, and it wouldn't have happened without you all. Congratulations to you too.